Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the second session of day one of week 3 of ALYFE Connect, our very first virtual-only event brought to you exclusively by ALYFE Group. This afternoon, we are delighted to welcome Mr. Dennis Yin, one of our favorite content creators out there, who's going to be sharing with us some insights into his personal journey and his motivation and what inspires him to keep reaching as high as he possibly can. Dennis is an artiste, an actor, a social media influencer, a content creator, a commercial talent, a professional dancer. He's an all-around very talented and an all-around great guy. So we are delighted to welcome Dennis. Hello. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. What's up, everybody? Hello. I'm here.
How are you, mate? How are you getting along?
I'm good. I hope everyone's doing well. We're staying at home.
Yeah, so far so good. We're having about the same amount of people tuning in this week, so today so far as last week, which is a good sign. It means people are still at home rather than they can't watch it. So we hope that means you're all staying indoors and staying safe.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
How have things been for you, Dennis? How have you found the lockdown period so far? I know when it comes to the entertainment industry, you are an extremely busy guy. Whether if it's not events, it's a video shoot. If it's not a video shoot, it's you're on stage dancing. Like you're always doing something. I've never known anybody to be as involved in so many things as you. So tell me a little bit about how you found this quiet period, shall we say?
Well, I think it's like you said, the quiet period. Before this, I would be very busy because I would usually go for meetings, and then after that, I have a show, I have to rehearse, and this and that. And now everything just stopped, So it's kind of like I'm so used to just keep going, and suddenly just stop. So for the first 2 phases of MCO, I to be honest, I had a hard time coping. Because I was constantly just stressed about my business, which is my gym. It's closed, and I need money to operate and to continue running. So for that, it took me a while to like really clear my mind off. And now I'm in a better place. I just want to take it as it goes. Not to worry too much because it's not good for me. Yeah, I'm better sleep now than I had like a month ago.
Good. Yeah, I mean, it was definitely like an adjustment period for a lot of us. I mean, I think ourselves included. I mean, I'll admit, I can't compare to what must have been going through your mind. I don't have my own business to worry about, especially not my own gym. I'd be freaking out. But as you well know, a lot of what ALYFE do is, of course, revolved around working with you guys, like events, production, shoots, all of these things, and like all of a sudden, nada. So it was a very difficult adjustment period, and I think what made it worse almost was not just necessarily the personal stress or like the personal problems you were suddenly faced with, but also just getting bombarded with news on the daily from across the world, like this truly, without celebrating that fact now, without revisiting all of those headlines now, but it really is, like, let's face it, a global catastrophe.
It is.
So it really made any easier.
It's insane.
Yeah, and it all happened so fast. I was in Korea like a week before things got bad. I was in Korea like mid-February, I think. So I was still traveling then, and people were still wearing masks and everything, of course. But like a lot of people in Asian countries wear masks all the time anyway. So it didn't feel that big a deal. And then before I knew it, I was back in KL, and then bang, Italy was putting up these horrific numbers. And then slowly the lockdown was going. Anyway, let's not dwell on that, because thankfully there seems to be a bit of light at the end of that tunnel, at least for us in Malaysia. We hope, because obviously we've had a partial lifting of the MCO today, and let's hope it's the right and safe decision. But you're not sure when the gym might not. You're not sure when the gym might open again, right?
I received a lot of messages from my members and friends asking when the gym will be open again, but I think we gotta wait till we get a green light from the authorities, because I don't want to open the gym and risk, like someone falling sick or something happen and things like that, So I think I personally would play it safe, and I would follow the rules that is set by the authorities, and we'll see how it goes, and we'll see how the whole pandemic is happening, especially in Malaysia, in Selangor, in Subang. As long as the numbers get safer and everything gets lowered down, and then maybe After that,
you're right.
then we will reopen.
Yeah, it's not a great. I mean, it's not a great time for it either too. I think, Hari Raya is, of course, and Ramadan is a time to be with family and friends. But right now, like, it's the opposite of what we need. We need to social distance, not gather socially. So anyway, not for me to say. No, I'm not a medical nor government professional for that matter. So let's leave it to the pros. But let's talk about you for a little bit, Dennis. In terms of what you've been doing at home to keep yourself, I guess, physically and mentally occupied. I know exercise is a huge part of your life, of course, and your gym, the House of Champions, your gym in Subang is. It's what you might call an iron paradise. Like, it's a really legit, like, kind of old school, but with nice new equipment, like old school proper weightlifting gym. So I know that's the kind of training you most enjoy. Difficult to replicate at home. So what have you been doing to keep fit at home? How have you been doing that?
Well, for the in the past 2 to 3 weeks, I've lost 5 kilos. I've not lost 5 kilos in a very long time, and suddenly I'm now at 80 kilo. I think the only way that I'm keeping fit is I've been dancing a lot more. I used to dance, right, professionally, but I've stopped. So I just took a few classes online from some instructors from the US and stuff, my friends from abroad, just to keep my cardiovascular going. But in terms of muscle building and all that, I didn't really do much. Because, it's not that I don't believe in the home workout. It's just that I sweat excessively, and I don't want to mop the floor every single day after I'm done with my 30-minute session. I drip sweat real bad. So I was like,
I feel it. I'm in the same. I just do it out on the balcony, and then I just kind of just get a bucket of water. Like,
I don't have a balcony. That's the problem.
I think So I wouldn't be doing it either, to be honest. I suffer from the same problem as you. And what about sort of creatively? I mean, I know, like, you put out like a lot of very, very cool videos a lot of the time, whether it's like campaign shoots, because I know you've been doing a lot of work with Adidas, for example, right? Yeah. So you're putting out a lot of, like, you usually put out like a lot of cool content, a lot of cool shoots, photos, whether they're from the gym or the streets or whatever. But have you been still kind of like active with clients during this time? Have you been creating any content at home? Have you been getting into TikTok, for example?
Well, my wife is very into TikTok right now. Jade is very into TikTok. She would spend hours doing it, and I'm very happy that she's doing it. But for me, I would love to. It's not that I don't want to, but I only want to do it with a clear mind and a good heart. Because right now, I feel like my mind is not at the right place. Because I'm constantly fighting with the gym situation and the career, like I said. Because after MCO, my clients, most of them stopped. There is no job coming in, and the bigger problem that I'm facing is what happens post MCO. What's going to happen after MCO? Because there will be no mass gathering. We won't have events. We won't have a lot of things that we have before. So there are going to be a lot of adjustments, and that's where I think the real problem would come. After MCO, not right now.
I think you're right.
So that's where I'm really at.
Yeah, you're right. It's another big adjustment, sure, and it's a new normal. Life, without sounding too down about it, like life as we knew it will not kind of return in some respects. A lot of people, like, it's been amazing to see. I think a lot of positive response to a lot of people have said after they adjusted, they used this time to reflect and to recalibrate, recharge, reset, that kind of thing. So it's been nice to hear from a few people during this period. But I think, as you point out, you're right. After this period is what's going to be the real test.
The reality of it.
The real reality check, as it were. So, we wish you, of course, all the very best with that, and we hope the gym opens soon. I know, unfortunately, gyms aren't like the ideal. It's in terms of sterilization and cross contamination and people touching everything. It's really one of the most difficult places to maintain, I think, during this kind of thing. But fingers crossed for you. But is there anything that you think you could do what about online classes? Is your gym kind of geared up in that way? I know you're like, you're a bodybuilder's gym, so it's tough to just do like home online workouts. But is there anything you can? to innovate?
For me, most of the people they advise me that convert offline online, right? That I've heard multiple times. But the problem with the way I run this gym and how I started this gym, it was meant to be a bodybuilding gym where people come, they support each other, build a community, and we will just work out. There's no personal training. I'm not a certified personal trainer. I just like to train. I just like to work out and have fun. That's pretty much it. I don't even compete. So the problem is, if I were to do online coaching, 90% of my gym goers just want to lift weights. Most of them now just at home, not doing much, because when they start working out, they realize they're going to lose all the muscles, and that's not their initial goal. They want to maintain as much muscle as possible until after MCO to build it back up. So if I would do it and target to my gym, then it's going to be hard. But if I were to do it and target to my audience, that would be fine. However, that would not translate into business, because I would not do like home workout in my gym. So it's kind of hard, but I'm still trying to figure out what works for my gym, because my gym is unlike like most of the gyms, the fitness centers that are out there. So really just trying to figure out what am I going to do and how it's going to be done after MCO.
All right. Well, we look forward to seeing what you might be able to come up with, because it would be a shame if you'd be ashamed. But you never know. Like, I appreciate it's very, very difficult being in that position, of course, because your gym is a very specific one. But maybe the solution you find will be very unique in itself. Maybe there's. We hope for you, man. Good luck. So let's go back. Let's reminisce about happier times, shall we? Let's talk about you, Dennis. Because I know you have a lot to share with us this afternoon, which I'm really excited to hear about, because like I said, you do a lot. You're a busy guy, and your background is so fascinating, and you've had so many interesting experiences in the industry. But I know that behind all of that, before all of that, is like a much greater kind of personal story and a journey which you're really keen to share with us. And I know there's a very inspiring kind of motto, message, motivational piece to that. So, the stage is yours, my friend. Please take it away. Like, tell us who Dennis Yin is, where he came from.
All right, let's take it back all the way to year 2001. Dennis Yin, he was 13 years old. It was in April. It was Teacher's Day. So Dennis Yin, Form 1, he's young, watching a hip hop performance by his senior, and they were dancing breakdance. They were breakdancing on stage, and I was like, "Wow, that is so cool to be able to stand on your hand and flip and this and that." And I wanted to learn, so that's where my interest for dance started, because I was thinking I couldn't sing, so the only way I could express myself is through dancing.
Right. Well, so dancing is like making your body look like music, right? So that's
because I just want to listen to music and go feel it.
I can do that.
So that started as that was the start for me. But I was young. I wasn't the cool kid. I was more of the loser, and I had low self-esteem. So I had all that while I was starting to dance. And the reason why I picked dancing up was I wanted to be cool. I wanted to be seen as cool guy.
Do you mind if I ask this? Because it's just an interesting one, maybe, because people will relate to what you've just said for different reasons. But were you like a bit of a nerdy kid, or was it just that you were quiet and a bit shy? Why?
I was a class clown.
What was it?
I was a class clown. Okay. But
you had the performer in you.
Yeah, I was the kind of guy who always wanted to, lift the mood. I want to lift the mood. But what I realized is that I kept trying to be someone else to fit in. That is one problem that I see a lot of people are doing, especially at a young age, which I was. So let's take my journey through, right? So at 13, I started dancing, but then the teacher, when I was doing handstands, said I was fat. He called me fat, and I was like, "Oh no!" And I stopped dancing. I stopped dancing completely. I stopped.
Really?
I was so disappointed with myself. I was like, Dennis, you're a loser. Go and die. So I stopped.
Wow.
1 year later, I started doing this. In my class, I just do this. Every single day, I would just do that all the time. And I'll start popping and things like that. And I continued to dance and dance and dance until I was 16. I formed a cheerleading team in my school.
Oh.
With a bunch, with about 8 to 10 girls. I was the only guy. I was the choreographer. I was the captain, and I was the coach.
That's every 16-year-old boy's dream.
Now, see, the funny thing was, I wasn't that kind of guy. I was the guy that they would go to ask advice on how to deal with their boyfriends. I was
okay. You were like that deep in the friend zone, huh?
Oh, I was the epitome of friend zone.
You invented the friend zone.
So let's flash forward till I was about 17, 18. I joined the national cheerleading team.
Wow.
Yeah. So then that was when I really started to focus on cheerleading, and I stopped hanging out with my friends. I stopped doing what normal teenagers would do: play football, go for snooker, go to cyber cafe and things like that. I don't do all that.
Cyber cafe is old school. So, but when you were doing cheerleading, were you at the same time getting into? Was this when you started going not bodybuilding, but like started going to the gym a bit, or gymnastics or anything? Because cheerleading is like
gymnastics.
It's pretty physically like involved.
Oh,
it's not a few pom poms like a lot of people think it is, man. Cheerleading, especially if you're a guy and you're the anchor or whatever they call it.
You're at the bottom. You're the base.
Shit, man. It's not that I've tried it, but I have friends who have, and it's really hard cheerleading.
It's hard. It's easier. It's easier seen. To look at it, it's easy, but to do it, it's hard. So back then, training wasn't easy. Yeah, training wasn't easy at all back then, But that taught me perseverance. So the following year, I went for an audition for one of my most favorite show back then. So You Think You Can Dance? Have you heard of it?
Yeah.
So I went for that audition, and I made it to top 20. So at that point, I had to decide.
This was like the year after you were in national cheer squad.
Yeah. After.
Wow.
So when I joined So You Think You Can Dance, I was 19 years old, and I made it to top 20. So I have to decide: do I join the national team to Japan and compete, or do I stay in Malaysia and compete in this TV show that I've dreamt about? Like, I've watched every seasons before it came to Malaysia. So I was like, which should I do? Where should I go? But I decided to take up So You Think You Can Dance and went my own way in dancing, because that was something I really wanted to achieve for myself, So I did that, and then after 3 months, I came second in the whole Malaysia.
In the whole shit.
Yeah, we had like 200 to 300 people who came for audition from the whole of Malaysia, and to know that a cheerleader, someone who has never been to a dance class, who is looked down upon, who has been called name as a dancer by all his schoolmates on national TV, and let's back into when I was in high school, right? I've always wanted to represent my school, represent my house, represent anything, as long as Dennis Yin represents something. I felt like I could redeem myself in the eye of all my friends, but that never happened. I was never good enough to represent anything, and I was just constantly like, what, I can't do this. I'm not good in this. I tried basketball, I tried football, I tried softball, I tried hockey, I tried bowling, I tried everything. What is that? Sepak takraw. I tried badminton. I tried everything, and I wasn't good in dancing. One thing that was constant was dance. I was constantly dancing everywhere I went. So
do you remember exactly? I think you kind of just answered this question actually, but I want to jump back to it because there was this very specific time or choice that you had to make, and it would have taken you down very, very different paths. And it was either nationals to Japan or this TV show. And what was it that really made you click with choosing the TV show? Was it because dance is just that passion for you, or was there like a reason? Was it like a light bulb moment that you knew you had to make that choice, or did
I think what made me decide what I should do was I told myself, like, I think I should go with So You Think You Can Dance because that was for me. It is time for me to do something for me. I've done a lot of things to impress people, to make people happy, to this, to that, to please them. And I thought, you know what? I really want to be in this show, and this is the time. So I just said, you know what, guys, I'm really sorry. I can't go with you guys. I have a show and I want to be in that show. And they completely understood, and they supported me, and they were behind me all the way. So yeah, I was very happy with my decision. And look at where I got myself to. You know, after that, I joined competitions after competitions, and I represented Malaysia, this and that. So everything just came full circle, man.
That's beautiful. I mean, I think it's a fantastic message as well, and a really beautiful message to say that you finally, this was the point after through your teenage years, after trying out so many different things, you made the choice to do something for yourself, which is like the most. And you pointed out earlier that a lot of people do things to impress other people, to fit some kind of expectation or some kind of mold or some kind of profile, some kind of persona. But you took this decision for yourself and you ran with it, and now look at you. I think that's beautiful. So that's a fantastic message already.
Well, I think one message that I want to share with all the viewers is that is perseverance. The reason I share my story was because remember how I joined So You Think You Can Dance at 2007? After the show, I did not win anything, but I gained knowledge and I gained experience. So my dream at 2007 was hopefully one day I could work and earn enough money to go to United States of America and dance over there to compete and represent Malaysia. That was my number one dream. And I told myself, work hard. You got to save 15,000 ringgit to fly to US for 1 week. You're going to do that for 1 whole year. Do your best.
Wow.
So I did that 1 year. The next year, I joined a dance competition. I couldn't go. The following year, I had a show. I couldn't go. The third year, I was in another competition. I couldn't go. And then the fourth. And then it came to the fifth. On the fifth year, the best part was we joined a competition, and our sponsor, Cellcom, was so kind to sponsor our trip to the United States of America for the first time in 2012. So can you imagine my dream at 2007? And I just kept working hard. All I'd say, if there's a job coming your way, take it, do it. You're young, you're energetic. There's no reason why you cannot do it, because you have a goal, you have a dream. Go for it. Don't stop until you achieve that. And I worked so hard. I saved so much money just for the United States of America. And at the end of it, someone came and sponsored our trip. And I was like, wow. And from being in the US for 1 week, I saved up to be there for 3 months.
Wow. Shit. So it's supposed to be just 1 week and you were there.
Exactly. And the crazy thing is that because I've been saving money since I was young. I started working at 14 years old. I posted online.
What is it?
What I did when I was 14, you ask? Let me show you, bro. This was my job.
I mean,
for 4 years.
I'm curious now. Oh wow! Oh shit! Everyone, wait. Let me put you full screen. I want everyone at home to see this up close.
That was me.
I love it. Please tell me you kept that outfit, man. I think you could still rock. I think you could still do something with those stripes.
Dude, that was my outfit for 4 years, bro. I was working as a clown in Genting from I was 14 till I was 17. I started working because all my friends was working, and I was like, I want to work. And then I started working, and I was like, wow, it's really hard to earn money. So all I did for 4 years, from 14 to 17, was save my money. I don't go for recess. I don't eat in school. I don't spend money. I don't do anything. I just kept all my money in the bank. That's it. I don't. My mom would apply for bread for me. I would bring 1.5 liter of water to school, and that's all. I don't spend money. But when I was 15, I got bullied. I was extorted money for 3 months. Every single day. My life was just in constant fear of going to school because He would every single day come to my class after school, meet me in front of the school, and like go and get me a drink. Where's your money? Give me your money. And I'll be like, and the worst part was all my friends, nobody came and helped me. No one. I was there in front of them alone.
Was this guy like, he was notorious? Like was he like notorious?
He was notorious in school, and he kicked the discipline teacher and all that thing. But what I'm trying to say is that was the catalyst to make me who I am today. Because of people like that guy who scarred me. When I came into So You Think You Can Dance, I saw the potential that I had, and I felt that they can never bring me down. The only way they can bring me down if I allow them to.
Right.
So that was the realization in my head. So I used that throughout my whole life until today. That, you know, I gotta prove people wrong, prove them wrong. I gotta prove this people who doubted me, who think that, you know, this Dennis, he was a loser in high school, he'll forever be a loser and things like that, you know. To surprise everyone, while I was dancing professionally, I was taking my double degree. I have double degree in communications and psychology.
Oh wow! So you're a clever guy too. You can do it.
I'm not that clever, but I promised my mom that if I was gonna dance, I would do dance part-time and study part-time. I didn't want to. I promised my mom that I would get that certificate done, because as all Asian parents are, they would say, you don't dance, no future. You better get your certificate.
I can only imagine how terrifying that must have been to try and convince your mother that you want to. Yeah, that's a fair compromise.
It was. You know, I mean, when I started, like, I would say, you know, that my parents, it wasn't that they didn't support me. It was more of like they were scared that, you know, what if he broke his leg, then he couldn't dance professionally anymore. Then what's going to happen after that? What's this? What's that? So I understand the fear. So what I tried to do was to do the best I can to prove to them, I'm good. I can do this. I can live my life, and I can take care of myself with the things that I love to do. Because a lot of people said, if you're going to do freelance, you'll never be rich. You'll never be stable. You know, it's all about, you got to work 9 to 5. You know, you got to go to the office. You got to get the internship. You got to get this. You got to get that. And for me, it was more, what do you love doing more? I was always, money is important, but happiness is beyond that. Happiness has no price tag, you know. So what I would say is that if I were to go back and tell Dennis Yin back then, I would say do it all over again, man. Do the same thing, if not better. Compete, go all the way. Don't stop. Anyone say no, just do it. So just do it anyway. Wow. So for all the young ones that are watching out there who are maybe being inspired by this story, all I would say is, if you have a dream, if you have a goal, but your mindset has to be right. Your intention has to be right. Yeah, because above all else. Because I just want to share this, right? A lot of people come up to me and they would say, Dennis, I'm so inspired by you. I love what you do. You know, you inspire me, and I want to be as famous as you. When they say, I want to be as famous as you, I will stop them right there and say, first, I'm not famous. I'm known. People appreciate my work. That's it. I'm not famous. I'm not a celebrity. I'm just Dennis Yin. Now, if your intention is to be famous, don't try. Don't start, because you will fail. Because if you're going to dance, going to dance, or you're going to bodybuild, or you're going to sing, and if suddenly people say, you sound like shit, your body is shit, your dance is shit, and then you're going to have to find something else to do because you want to be famous, right? But if you keep your craft, you keep to your art, you keep to what you love doing, after 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, if you work hard enough, someone out there will notice you.
Very, very true. That's a very, very good point, actually. You got it. Really, really, people respect it. Like, build it and they will come, right? And you can only build what you are. You can only build what you are prepared to break your back building. You know, like, you can only build what you want to put blood, sweat, and tears in, right? And then they will come to it. It's rather than like chasing fame is an empty. It's an empty goal, because at what level then are you satisfied? Is it like, okay, how do you define fame? Is it, okay, once I got 100K followers, 200K followers, 300K, once you get there, you know?
You want to be Justin Bieber level? I mean, for me, it was the way I see it is that when people say I want to be famous, I'm like, you want to be Justin Bieber famous? You want to be like where he couldn't go out, he can't go anywhere without the bodyguard, without being hassled, being tackled and things like that. So for me, it was always keeping the mindset right, the intention right, and the goal right, so that when you go towards your goal, you will never fall off course.
Sure. I think, and back on the intention, because you mentioned something just now that was very interesting. Because I know that a lot of what motivated you was to prove the doubters wrong, like prove that you could make yourself something of yourself, and so on and so forth. But at the same time, I'm sure like the motivation for you personally has to be more about you than about proving them. You know what I mean? Like it can't come from a place of spite or from revenge.
I would say honestly, at the start, it wasn't even revenge, because when they were calling me names, I was dancing. When they were saying shit about me, I was dancing. I was always dancing no matter what they would say. I was just, oh yeah, they call me dumb. I'm like, yeah, they call me stupid. Yeah, because I would always play the dumb card because then they would have nothing on me. And I kept focusing on what I love doing because that's the only thing that nobody can take from me.
Mm-hmm.
And then the best part of it all is that after I joined So You Think You Can Dance, I joined this competition. And keep in mind, the only reason I joined competition wasn't to be famous. There was no fame that I thought I could be famous through dance. I joined competition because I first didn't have the money to take dance classes. Second, the only way I could improve is that join competition and force myself to creatively improve, because there's no way you gotta every week you gotta come up with a new routine, you gotta learn a new piece, and that pushes me, like if not more than being in a dance class. So I kept telling myself, join competition, because that's the only way you can improve without going into classes, because I didn't have the money to take classes back then. So I think that really teach me to persevere, to just keep at it, just keep going. You'll never stop. Just keep going, just keep doing. And you were young, and I was young. I didn't have much to do. Back then there was no social media, there was no YouTube like this. We were just young kids just going out, having fun, doing things.
Back in the day, the old school.
Yeah.
Best. Oh god! Oh, that still haunts my nightmares, my dreams. That the sound of the dial-up modem, and if your parents got on the line, you got disconnected from the AOL.
You're to download that one song is just gone.
Kids these days don't know how easy they have it. Too easy.
Yeah.
What I'm fascinated by, Dennis, too, actually, is so. Clearly, when it comes to staying motivated and like staying on course and on track, like you were so disciplined, you were so determined to save your money to do this over the course of years. And in the fifth, you were able to get it.
I'll do that for a while because I just want to be clear with my path. Right now, I wasn't on the right. I didn't have a clear path. I did not know what I was doing or where I was gonna go. I didn't see the light at the end of the tunnel. But what I knew was I am in this for good,
This was your thing.
If I was going to get paid, I'm in this. If I'm not getting paid, I'm in this. So whether or not anyone said anything about it, I'm in this. So what I did was I just kept telling myself, go, just do. I earn money. I just keep going and going and going, and I didn't stop because I told myself, until the day you achieve your goal, you don't stop. Whatever it is, just keep going.
In a way, I suppose that's the path. We never quite know the path we are on, but like as long as you were committed to that journey, of like whether you get paid or not, you knew that you were on that to go. So again, that's a very interesting perspective and a good message for people watching at home. Is like you don't have to know where you're going necessarily. You just have to know why you're going there and be certain, and then be certain about it. But what I'm interested in knowing, Dennis, is how, because it sounds even from a young age, like even as you were so determined to be so disciplined and everything, we know the passion, but what about like the process? What about, how is it like you set goals and maintain them? Do you write, a lot of people, for example, when they talk about motivation, they will write daily affirmations. You know, they will write the goals down in the morning. Some people put post-it notes on their doors as they step out the, you know, all that kind of thing. What is your process when it comes to like setting and maintaining and working towards goals?
I think in that sense, I would say I'm very lazy. I don't write journal. I don't have notes. I don't write anything on my laptop back then. All I did was when I get up, you know, because I love dancing. So as soon as I wake up, that's it.
That's it. You know it.
That's it. I got to research for the latest dance move. I got to call my friend, my crewmate. Okay, so are we going to rehearse today? Where's the training? Let's do it, man. Let's go down. And then after that, at 10, 11 o'clock, I'm going to go with my friend to a club. And back then, I don't drink. I just go to a club and dance with my friends because the club is where the place is at. And we're going to be dancing and all that kind of stuff. So that was the training that I had back then. So when you said like, how do I keep motivated? And back then, I never really thought about that back then. All I did was stay on course, stay on track, correct my mindset, and just keep going. Don't stop, just keep going. I didn't have like, remember, Dennis, today is the best day. You're going to be doing great things and you'll be good. No, there was nothing like that. I only did that when I was like 28, 29, when I was opening my gym.
Right. Okay. Well, that kind of opening a business, I guess, is like the next step on that journey too. So, okay. So you didn't have any of these like, you know, motivational posters on your bedroom wall? Like,
I just
believe it.
Nothing like that. Nothing like that. It was just, I think it came from somewhere deep, you know, like I really truly love dance. And because of that, everything else didn't matter, you know, because I liked dancing even before there was money. So after you took the money away, I still love dance. It's always my passion. Now, fast forward, 2014, I decided to stop dancing professionally at 2014 because at 2014 I've been to US 3 times. My goal was to go there once. 2012, I went 2013 with my crew and we came second runner-up in the whole world. Third place.
Wow!
We got third in the whole world. And that was the achievement of my life. Like that was the dream, you know. I've dreamt about it since 26 when I was like 16. That was just crazy. Now 2014 we went back again. We didn't do that well, but I felt to myself, that's enough. You've done enough for yourself. You've proved to all the doubters that you did it. You stayed your course no matter how hard it was, and you fight through. Now, after 2014, I asked myself, what are you going to do now? What do you want to do? At that point, I have done YouTube for 2 years. I started YouTubing at 2010. At 2012, Genie Boy TV came to me and said, hey, come on our video, man. Let's do this video. And after that video, it took off. Abu Dan and all that thing, it just took off. Wow. So then my
Sorry, when you started out, was it when you started doing it in 2010? Was it like travel vlogging, like just videos of you and your crew, just
exactly that? The crew? What I felt at that point was dancers had no voice. We are the favorite or best dance crew in Malaysia, but nobody has ever heard us speaking. Everyone would say they're very serious, they're very angry people because they always wear sunglasses. They're gangsters, you know. And I'm like, no, we're all dumb fellas, like kids. We're all kids, you know. So I thought that would be a great way for my audience, our fans, our followers to know the behind the scene of Electro Shot, my crew. So I started doing that, you know, that back then, YouTube, you don't get paid. There was nothing. In Malaysia, there was nothing, you know. But I did it because I wanted to keep it as a journal so that my kids in the future could see, hey, that's your dad. Your dad was cool, okay?
I promise you. Proof I have here. Your dad was a cool guy. I promise you, Dennis. You could have won that competition in the States, and your kids will still never think you're cool. It's just it's a thing. It's a good thing, you know.
That's very true.
You'll get closer to you'll get closer than most dads will, but they'll still never think you're cool.
Yeah. So that was why I started YouTubing, and then that was when Jin got me in with Ruben. They got me into doing YouTube with them. And then that was where my internet presence started to build in 2012. And then in 2014, I decided, let's stop dancing. Because if I don't stop, jobs will keep coming. But I wanted to do something else. I wanted to try because I want to entertain people. I realized the joy that I get is not just from dancing. Dancing is my passion, but the real joy is from entertaining crowd. I love to bring smiles, laughter to people, and I like it like that, you know. So at 2014, 2015, I tried to host more, to MC more, and things like that. But let me tell you, a lot of people said, Dennis, you're such a natural on camera, man. No, man. My first job live hosting, my hand was shaking like that. I was like, hi guys, my name's Dennis. Whoa, it was bad.
It's a tough. We've had three. I think we had we've had three hosts, three MCs, professional MCs on ALYFE Connect so far. We had Gabriella hosting Venice earlier, and we had Nadia Heng last week, and Natalie Lisa. So we've had some pretty cool guests, but they were all these are all professional MCs who have been doing it for like 10 years plus.
Yeah,
we still get nervous, man. Before every gig, you know, it's a universal thing.
It is every single time, from dancing to hosting to not acting. Acting is like it's in a set, so that's fine. Anything live, I would get weird feeling in my tummy, and I have to go and poop. If I don't, I can't do the show. So that's me. I get real. But every single time when I step on stage, Dennis Yin comes on. You know,
because the energy.
Yeah, because every time when a client would ask me, Dennis, I have an event coming up, my first question is it a formal event or informal event? Because I can't do formal event. I can't do like standing there and just welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to blah, blah, blah. That's
a pretty good. You could do that. That's a pretty good one though. Just keep that up for like 10 minutes.
I've done announcing. I call this announcing. I've done it once.
The Hollywood voice.
Yeah,
ladies and gentlemen, that kind of thing.
For me, I could handle the stress of entertaining a crowd of 8,000 to 10,000 people, but I could not handle the stress of calling out a dato or datin's name wrongly.
Yeah. Well, you know, out here, that is just not okay. You know, so that's fair enough.
That's why whenever someone said, "Oh, the minister is here," can I not do this? Like, I just cannot.
No, me. I don't
want a security or the cops to like get that guy off stage. No,
you got to run out the back door, jump over your head. Yeah, it's not a risk that many are willing to take. So, see, but I mean, clearly, it's been, you know, you need room to play with the audience. You know, you're an entertainer, not an announcer. You know, you need a bit of informality about the whole process, right?
Okay, yeah, and just let me share with you. Have you heard of 8TV Quickie?
8TV Quickie. The name sounds familiar, but I don't think I've.
It was like a talk show that Henry Golding was on, Megan Tan was on, Prem was on. It was a talk show back on TV, right? I've wanted to be on that show for 3 years. I've went on audition for 3 years. I failed for 3 years.
Wow.
The first one was with when I went. They told me Henry Golding was interviewing as well. I was like, oh, he's gonna get it. He's so handsome, man. How am I gonna get it? And then on my last one, Mark O'Day was there. I was like, hell no. Like, hell no. You know? So
this
guy. So funny enough, in 2015, I got a job in Singapore. I was acting in a drama series over there. That was my first big break. I was like, oh my God. Singaporean wants me, a small guy from Subang. Okay, cool. I went to Singapore. I did my acting gig. They said I was good. And I came back. Hafiz Hatim from Fly FM called me up and said, hey, Dennis, we want you to come in to see if you're interested to, you know, be a radio announcer and things like that. I was like, what? I just finished an acting gig. I'm getting a call to be a radio announcer? Yes, sign me up. Where? So I went in, I spoke to them. They gave me some pointers, some tips, and then I joined the show. And then after a month, they announced that Dennis Yin is going to be part of the morning show.
Oh, okay. Fancy. Your name in lights.
Yeah. And dude, like for me, I grew up sitting in my mom's car going to my school, listening to Rudy and JJ on Hits FM. You know, I've listened to, you know, so for me, it was like an achievement unlocked. Like, oh my God, like you're doing the job that you once thought those guys were gods. You thought those voices on radio were gods. And now that's you. I don't get to see their faces. I don't get to see them ever, but I hear them every single day, you know? So now it's me. It's my turn and I'm in that seat. So that was that was the turning point for me. I was like, oh my goodness, you know. And then after that, it didn't stop there. After 1 year on radio, I decided to call it quit. I was 28, and I said, you know what? There's more in me. I want to do more. I don't want to stop just being a radio announcer. So then, so happened, I was going to quit in December. I was offered a TV show hosting in November for a TV9.
TV9, okay.
And that was a Bahasa Malaysia show. It was a Malay show.
Ooh.
So it was hard, but the producer, they trusted me. And I was like I said before when I was young, if someone gave you an opportunity, the door handle is there, you open it. So my theory in life is this. People always say, there's one door here, there's one door here. Which door do you go through? I will go through this door, walk out, and go through the other door. So
yeah, put it down, go check it out, and come back.
Yeah, then go again,
right?
Yeah, so I did that, and then I went on hosting that show 3 years.
3 years.
And then at the same time,
what kind of? Because I'm not completely familiar with TV9, especially myself. I'm real Matt Sally about it. But what kind of show was
it was
that?
A lip-sync battle. Drop the beat.
It was
lip sync battle.
Oh, right. Oh, nice. Okay.
Celebrities, and I was hosting with a good friend of mine, Sherry Al Haddad, and it was fun. It was really fun. And at the same time, I was hosting a Chinese TV show, dance competition called Astro Battleground. I was competing. I was the first winner, the first season winner back in 2007, and in 2014 or 15, they invited me to be the host.
You're back to host. That really is full circle. That's impressive.
I mean, for me, it was like a kid's dream. Like, oh my goodness, like the show that I joined, they see a potential in me to host it, and I was so proud of myself. Like to imagine you came from 13 years old, being looked down upon by all your friends, your peers. You know, even the girls in your team were like, your friend zone, bro. You know, so all that kind of thing just went all the way. 10 years later, I got this opportunity. I got this job. I got this. I scored one of the hottest wife in Malaysia, you know. So that's why I said perseverance is key. If Dennis Yin at 13, 14 years old gave up, Dennis Yin today would have been completely different. He probably had a 9-to-5 job. You know, he couldn't dance anymore. You know, that kind of life. And I'm very happy and proud of myself that I stick to my course. You know, whatever it is. That's why, like in the title of my poster, I wrote "Jack of all trade." Right? My mom used to call "Jack of all trade, master of none."
That's unfortunately how much of the time it goes. Yeah,
exactly. But I feel in this era, it is the time to be not jack of all trade. You know, in business world, they call that entrepreneur.
Yeah, true.
But they're master of all of it, you know. But I was just doing hockeys and shit like that. So I told myself I want to be good, or at least try every single thing in entertainment. You know, I've tried hosting, I've tried acting, I've tried YouTube, I've tried Instagram, I've tried Facebook, I've tried all this social media stuff. The only thing I've not tried is singing and playing music instrument. This too, I can't do.
So because actually this brings us up nicely, because we've got just over 5 minutes left, which is actually a good time maybe to start some Q&A. But like you just mentioned, you've got a great question here from Andy Lim, very relevant to what you've just said. But you've done it all. You're a dancer, commercial, business owner, social media personality, speaker, actor, radio, dance instructor, TV host, and congratulations, by the way, husband. So what's next? I mean, are you going to start singing? Are you going to start learning the guitar?
I already got the answer for Andy. My answer will be, next for me is to be a father.
Oh, that's nice.
To be honest, that has been my goal since I was 16. I wanted to be a dad when I was 25. When I was 25, I had no girlfriend, so that didn't happen. So now I'm 32. We're supposed to get married this year, and because of this whole pandemic, we have to postpone it probably to next year. So, you know, let's see what happens. You know, you never know. Maybe a little Dennis is going to come out soon. Who knows?
A little Dennis or a little Denise, it might be.
Okay, so cool stuff I'm going to share right here. Okay, only this is first time preview. Me and Jade, we have come up with our kid's name.
Oh, cool. All right, share with us. What's he going to be?
So since I think our first year of relationship, we've come up with our son's name if there were a son. If the son comes out, the first son is called Denzel.
Okay. Then I just got that. That's very good. That's very good. Yeah. And of course, he's got a great Hollywood namesake too. So Denzel's a pretty cool name. All right.
Yeah. So now for the girl, right? Everyone's like Janice. But for Janice is too. It's there's a lot of Janices that we know, you know. So then we came up with another name, Jade. Jazel Dennis. Jade.
That's quite nice actually.
Jade. Like E Dennis. Jade.
Yeah, that works. I prefer Jade to Janice, I think. No offense to any Janices out. That's name, but Jade's a very nice. It's a very nice kind of. If I'm allowed to say this, it's a slightly more Asian name, you know, like Jade Dragon, Chinese dynasty kind of thing. I mean, if I can get away with saying that, but Jade is a nice name for this part of the world.
So for us, and especially in their time, like when we have kids, 20 years later, Jade is going to be something like, I'm not going to say old, but maybe, you know, very traditional, you know, like our ancestors wearing Jade. I don't think 20 years later, anyone's wearing Jade no more, you know?
No. True. Interesting. It's going to be unique.
Yeah, so I have the name Denzel and Jade. I just gotta wait for them to come out.
You guys go well together so well that even your names combine for perfect kids' names. This is a match made in heaven. And like you just pointed out, so and people watching at home, whether it's pursuing passion or pursuing the hottest chick in school, just like Dennis says, perseverance. Perseverance is key.
Make sure you got your mind locked. You have your motive locked, you have your intention locked, and you just go for it. And I just want to put it out there. A lot of people out there says that Dennis Yin is a full-time, player, had a lot of girls before. Let me tell you guys, let me put it out there. I don't have the guts to walk up to a girl and talk to girls. That's true.
Hey, you and me both. Like, I'm surprised you don't. That's never been your thing.
Because I just want to put it out there because a lot of people would ask me, especially guys, they would ask me for like tips on how to approach a girl and how to this and how to that. I would honestly tell them, dude, I don't know. I don't have the guts to go up to a girl, So what happened was when I started to learn how to drink, I would drink a little bit, get a little tipsy, and then walk up.
And then walk out. Yeah, that's the main one. That's the tip, I suppose. It's funny it's not more, Dutch courage is okay, I guess. I think they call it. But it's funny how you talk about like motivation, setting goals, and perseverance. How do I talk to a girl? That's one goal I can't do.
Growth is something that's very hard. Like till this day, I'm still trying to figure out my wife. So
I think she's looking. I think I can't see Giselle from here. I think she's looking.
She's working over there. Hi, love.
Blow some kisses. Keep her sweet. We have a good question here from Mr. Forrest Vince. He's wondering on the YouTube side of things, are there any particular celebrities or personalities that you want to collaborate with in future?
Wow. Because YouTube in Malaysia in particular, as of this period right now, I personally feel that it is very dominated by the Chinese market. I've always had this idea because I'm Chinese, as you can all see, right? But my Mandarin is not very good. It's been improving over the course of 10 years. Of course, I can speak much better now. But I've always wanted to try to speak Chinese full out in my video. Hopefully someday I would be able to collaborate with like my friend Pei Yong, Chan Yong, Clary, all kind of people on YouTube speaking pure Chinese.
That would be cool. If you could do that. I mean, you've hosted a BM show. Obviously your English is fluent, of course. And you've won a talent show. Second runner-up in a talent show in America. You've hosted a BM show. The next frontier, the final frontier, the triple threat is a Mandarin video, Mandarin YouTube.
Yo, remember the dance show that I told you I hosted? It was actually a Chinese dance TV show.
Oh shit!
So I was speaking English and Cantonese and Mandarin on that show. I was speaking words I didn't know how to pronounce.
Oh, you got away with it?
So the audience really had a good laugh. Like sometimes I would say Mo Gek Han. They were like, "Oh my god, that is so ang mo. That is so white." Because I just don't know how to pronounce the words.
I mean, you were on that show for a while though, right? So they must have found it maybe 4 years, right? So clearly you were doing more than just enough to get by.
Every year I improved, so that was good. Better every year.
It sounds as if like anything and everything you turn your hand at, you manage to improve at. And I think your mentality and your approach and your persistence, your discipline, your dedication, all of it. I think you could try, you could try anything next. You could try being a painter, and give it a few years and you'd be like selling art or something.
That I'm probably not very good at.
This seems to be the case with you.
Probably I should try design.
Design. Actually, have you ever thought about that? Because I know, like I touched upon at the very beginning, like I know you've been collaborating with Adidas recently, because they're doing a lot on like the street style, like original side of things. And I know you've worked with other brands, a lot of brands, of course, in the past. Have you ever thought of like your own like maybe like a dance collection, like a streetwear thing or whatever?
Whoa, it's funny that you say that, right? I have with me one of the oldest dance crew that I was in. Since I was a young boy. Look, this whole bag in here is treasure. I have t-shirts of all my dance crew that I used to wear in all the dance competition. Everything is inside here.
Wow.
So let me show you.
Yeah, that's like old, right? That's like, yeah.
This was the first Adidas jacket, original Adidas jacket that I won in a Sunway Pyramid, because I've never had an Adidas jacket and I really wanted it. I had no money to buy it. So Hits FM, they were at Sunway Pyramid. I went there. They said, we want one person to dance. And I danced and they gave me this jacket. I kept this jacket until today.
Wow, man. That's going to be worth something in the future, I think. That's like...
It doesn't worth anything to anyone, but it's worth everything to me, because this was one of the first dance competition that I joined ever.
Wow. Well, I think Andy makes a very good point here. Please don't lose that bag. We know you lost something. I'm not going to make you recount the story because I know it's painful.
Yeah, and it's okay. Andy's just trying to say I lost my phone during MCO. Thanks, Andy.
Yeah. Well, we just want the best for you, and please don't lose that either. I mean, I know you're not going to take that anywhere with you, and you won't put it on the roof of your car, but please take good care of it. But I mean, that's like an OG originals jacket. That's like that's legit. That's really cool. I like the color.
I'm not sure if you're. Yeah. So I'm just gonna share this. So this is Echo Park. It was one of Malaysia's first hip hop brand, and they sponsored the dance competition in 2007. And this was our jacket, my crew jacket. This was the first jacket that I wore in the dance competition, and I kept it till today. Because they said, you could take this back, Dennis. I said, okay, and I kept it. Tell
you you can't do something, and you kind of got to do it. And you know what? I think another thing to interrupt on is how that teacher who once called you fat would be kicking himself if he could see you today. You know what I mean? Like, I hope he regrets that.
It's I think really it comes in full circle. And I think for a lot of people, why I want to say this is that stay humble. That's the key to everything. Stay humble, because one of my mentor, I would always say this in all interview, because it is true. If it wasn't because of him with his words, I would not have been this Dennis Yin today. He told me this word after So You Think You Can Dance. He said, Dennis, you're an amazing person. Do not change for money nor fame. Be you forever. He told me that when I was 19. I had no idea what he meant, but I kept it in my heart everywhere I went. But today, I knew that line meant the world to me, because no one ever told me that I was amazing. No one ever told me to be me. Everyone just wanted me to be someone else. So he was the only one who said, Dennis, be you and be the best version of you. Don't let money, don't let fame change you, because you're amazing. I'm like, okay. And till this day, I kept that with me. So that was the most important, most valuable lesson that I've learned in my teenage life.
Wow, that's very sensei level stuff. It's such to hear at such a young age. That is like really.
Yeah. He told me that he was the judge for the competition, and he told me that after the whole show. And one more piece of advice I would like to share with everyone is it's one of the quotes that I lived with since I was like 16 or 17. Is that life is experience is the best teacher.
Yeah,
better than
yeah.
better than your double degree, better than your doctorate or whatever it is. Life is the best teacher. You
That's
know,
it. The
I've learned
university of life,
living
right?
and meeting people like you guys that I feel that life has just so much to give, and I just want to keep learning, and that's what I've been doing. I learn how to act, I learn how to this, I learn how to talk, learn how to this. That's so much. So I just want to keep learning and keep improving. Right now, I'm learning how to be a businessman. I have no idea how to do that, but I've been learning for the past 2.5 years. I'm still learning, and one thing about me is that I like to be honest. I don't like to beat around the bushes and tell people, fake news like, oh, my gym is like I'm cashing in, man. Nah, man. Like for me, whenever it's hard, I would tell people upfront, like, yo, my gym's not doing good. I'm struggling. I'm trying my best, because I feel like people need honesty in this world, and they're just too much. I wouldn't say fake, but pretentious people around.
Yeah. People put up a facade a lot of the time, right? Like
and I'm not gonna say I'm all pure. I used to do that a lot, when I was younger, and I felt that's not me. That's just not right. I'd rather be honest with you and you hate me than to be fake around you. So that's why that's the title of this talk is called Real Talk.
Real talk, yeah, exactly that, and what a real talk it's been. I think, unfortunately, Dennis, because I'm really enjoying this, but we've just tipped over the hour mark, so I'm afraid we have to wrap up this session here. But
no problem.
Real talk indeed, man. Thank you so much for coming and sharing your time and your story with us. I think it's been one of the most motivational talks and inspiring talks that we've had.
Thanks.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's an amazing story, and not just from the success part of things, not just like, oh, look at how much this guy does and how busy he is and how many YouTube followers he's got or any of that stuff. I mean, those are all very impressive too, but your story, your message, your motivation, your passion, your dedication, your perseverance, all the rest of it, it's really, really thought-provoking, really very inspiring stuff. I think touch wood, the gym, of course, will open back up. But, if the worst should happen, dude, I think you've got a pretty good career as a motivational speaker ahead of you. So maybe that's it. Maybe that's the next business venture.
Hopefully
too. But of course, we hope and we pray that your gym and every gym and every business, of course, I'm looking out the window like wistfully, it opens up again pretty soon. Hopefully the right steps are being taken and whatnot. But for now, unfortunately, it's got to be safety first. But until we can see each other in person, Dennis, until we can get together it won't be an event. Unfortunately, it sounds as if events are going to be quieting down. But maybe in the gym, who knows? But
hopefully.
Thank you very much, man. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you for the talk, man.
We'll see you later. Thank you very much. I know everyone loved it. Well, there we go. The wonderful Dennis Yin. And thanks again to him very, very much for coming along and sharing with us such a wonderfully inspiring and truly, truly passionate story about perseverance and struggling through, even despite what others might think. Key takeaways, I would say, just do it for yourself, stay humble. And, even when you're struggling, even when the pain is too great, just remember, keep on dancing. Anyway, that's all for the second session. We are back at 9 p.m. with our first comedy night with Joanne and Bibi, who will be hosting our very first Diva Night, helped by the wonderful Mr. Arthur Tan, a famous face on the MC circuit and entertainment industry scene, who I'm sure you will all recognize too. So that about wraps it up for session 2 of day 1 of week 3 of ALYFE Connects, our very first virtual event brought to you exclusively by ALYFE Group. Thank you very much.